Hi, this is Matthew from RetroEdge.tech, and in previous videos I showed you how to set up .local/bin as a place to be in your path so that you could run your own programs or programs that you've downloaded from elsewhere, so that they're available to you as a user but not to system-wide. So you don't have to use a package manager to install them, but so that you can keep them in a place in your home folder. That place is .local/bin, and so I'm going to change the directory into that now. I'm going to print working directory. That's my full path with Matthew as my username. In the last video, I showed you how to download pfetch, which is you can grab that whole script on GitHub and just download it and make it executable and put it in your bin. And I've done that. So I've got both pfetch and push to RetroEdge, which is a script that I use to upload newly created blog posts to my website. So here, I'd like to show you how to write just something simple, something that you might put as just like a one-liner. You can notice that my window manager here, I've just got one window open. I don't have any kind of status bar or clock or anything like that. But every once in a while, I want to know the time. And I like the minimalism. I like that there isn't hardly anything in the screen except what I'm focusing on. So I want to keep that, but I'd like to know the time. Well, there is a command that gives some information that includes the time. And you may know a command, like you might know a command where like, oh, just run this and it shows you the time. But I'm going to demonstrate this as a way to get just the time by putting some bash commands together and then putting that in a script and then putting it in .local/bin. So let's get started. So the command that I usually run to see the time is uptime. And it's a few characters long and it shows a whole bunch of extra stuff that I don't need. You can see that the computer's been on for 16 hours. There's one user logged in, and here's the load average right now that I'm recording at. And at the beginning, it does have the time. And so that's the part I want. But uptime gives me a whole lot more than the time. And I'd like to be able to just type a command and get the time itself. So I was recently just looking at the program head, which you can use to print out so many lines. So for example, if we were to just type head and then pfetch, I can get the first 10 lines out of the script or the file pfetch. And then, so I was, hey, that's kind of useful. I was going to be using that for something else. And so I was looking at the man page. So man head, and I can read about that. And one thing that I thought was really interesting is this one here. Normally, I would just give it the -n and then a number and say, hey, print out so many lines. But this one here, it doesn't have to be lines, but it can be bytes. It's so much information that gets printed out as well. I'm like, oh, that might be useful. So let's go back. I press Q to get out of the man page. I'll press Control L to just kind of clear the screen so that we're back at the top. So let's try that. Let's get, so what I'll do is I'll type uptime and then I'll do space and pipe, which is the shift and the key above enter usually. And that's the pipe character. And what that's going to do is going to take the output of uptime and it's going to put it into, or push it into another command. So I'll type head and then I'll give it the, I guess, setting. That's not quite the right word. Argument. I'll give it the argument bytes, and then I'm going to tell it a certain number. So let's just say I type 12 in there. Well, it gave me a little bit more than I want. And there's some trial and error before the video. I figured out how many I want. And I just want the hour and the minutes to show up, not anything after that. So I'll press the up arrow to get to the last command that I've done in my history. And then I'm going to make that 6 bytes instead. So I'm going to pipe the output of uptime, head, and print out just the 6 bytes, first 6 bytes. And that gives me what I want, sort of. You can see that my prompt is coming up right behind the output of what I want. So I am getting the hour and the minutes. It's 2:08 right now as I'm recording this, but my prompt is right there behind it. So let's add something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put dollar, or not dollar sign, I'm going to put the ampersand, two ampersand. So that's going to say after that stuff before it is run, then run something else. And then so I'm going to run echo, and then I'm going to just put an empty space there. And I think it'll work as well if you don't have anything in there, but just so that I've got it there, empty space. And now, boom, I get the time. So let's clear. There's my one-liner to get the time by kind of just shortening what the output of uptime. And it gives me the time and then puts my prompt on a new line as well, because it echoes out a space or something extra that pushes my prompt down. So that's what I want. I want that, but in order to get the time, I don't want to type that all the time. So let's put that in a shell script, and we're in .local.bin, and that's in my path because I've configured it to be so. I'm going to use vim, and then I'm going to create my script called t, and just t, that's the whole file. No file extension or anything like that, no t.sh, just t. All right, so now I'm editing this file. I'm going to press I for insert. I'm going to put the shebang line, and that's the octothorpe ! /bin/sh. And then after that, I'm going to write my upliner. So uptime typed into head, given bytes. I'm going to print out the 6, then ampersand, echo, and out of space. And then I'm going to press escape to get out of insert mode, and then :WQ. Now I'm going to make this file. You can see it's a different color when I list them out. I'm going to make this executable. I'm going to do chmod u+x, and this makes it just executable for my user. And then t. Complete. So now when I list the files again, it is now executable for my user. So let's try it out. Let's change directory to just the base of my home folder. Press T, and boom, 211. So I've successfully kind of put a one-liner in a script that calls the shell, and that is located in .local/bin, which I've put in my path. It's executable. So now, in order to see the time, I just press T and enter while I'm in a terminal, and I get the time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.